exactly what they were looking for. And that is a very good shot. And if they remove one of these stones, then Wales will no longer have enough left to level the match. So that's it, and that's the handshake. Hungary are the victors over Wales.
Welcome back to Monthey for day 5 of the European Curling Championships B Division, and it's make or break for Wales. They appear to have secured their place in the B Division for another year. They have 2 matches today, later up against Austria and the early game against Poland. A win in both would give them a playoff spot, but there's one match and that's it for this year. So, let's hope they manage to pull a couple out of the bag here. Let's see what happens.
Well, this game against Poland really is a must-win if Wales want to keep their hopes of a playoff place alive. A pretty conventional start to the first end, Poland putting up a centre-line guard and Wales drawing round. Now, Wales' first draw shot just sneaked behind the T-line, so Poland able to attempt to draw to that stone. This looks like it might be a little bit heavy for what they wanted. Wales team back to their original configuration with Gary Coombs in at lead, Simon Powell the alternate sitting this match out. Gary just being asked to put something in front of that other stone. A freeze would certainly suit them well. Well, that mistake from Poland gives Wales an opportunity here to play a little bit heavier. The sweeper's unable to quite take that into shot position. So Wales, having the hammer in this first end, quite keen to keep access towards the button open, want to remove those red stones from play. That's not a bad result at all, they even stay with their yellow stone on the button. Poland just going for another draw to replace some of the stones that Wales have removed. Well, they really wanted that in the house. It's just going to creep in, but it's so far from the button, it may not be much an obstacle for Wales. Again, Wales going for a slightly heavier weight, just looking to move some red stones around here. So the first skip stone in end 1 is underway. Now, in theory, Poland shouldn't be too much of a challenge for Wales here. They've only won 2 out of their 5 matches so far. But then we said something similar about Belgium. That stone, however, is a bit short of where Poland wanted it. The first stone from Adrian Meikle here. Well, they managed managed to remove one red that was near the button, unfortunately replacing it with another. It looks like Wales still lies shot. Well, this situation has given the Polish skip, Boris Jacek, quite a bit to think about. He and his third were talking about what shot to play for several minutes before he came down to take the head. Of course, Jacek is no pushover. Poland have beaten Austria in the course of the round robin so far. No mean feat, and something that Wales will have to do this afternoon if they want to place in the playoffs. So this is the last stone from Poland in this first end. Wales, of course, have one to follow. Well, they're trying to guard any further approaches towards the button and that red that's near the middle. Looks like Adrian Mikkel thinks he can still get there, though. They're playing down the side of the sheet nearest us. And they'll be looking to try and get at least two out of this. They're going for a hit and roll attempt here, and that's a fantastic result. Now it looks like they've taken at least three. That is a pretty good shot. Of course, the problem with that draw from Poland is that it's behind guards that are Welsh, not Polish. So Adrian having a go at the run back takeout. Poland have the last stone in this end, so want to try and score more than one, and now they're not going to be able to. So Poland are going to have to go for a takeout for one. There's no option to blank the end here, which they might do if they could in order to retain the hammer. This is looking very close. One more stone to come from Wales here in N3. Meanwhile, Poland is to try and do something to stop Wales from scoring two. This is an attempt at a draw in towards the centre of the house. Looks like it might be running a little light. Well, Poland do just lie shot from that. And the question is, can Adrian Mikkel hit that stone and stay in anywhere in the house to take two? Well, that's an unfortunate miss, so it's one to Poland, a steal for them, and they trail now by just one shot. Well, at the tail end of N4, just one Welsh stone in the house. It's fairly open, so Poland's going for a hit here to try and remove it from play. They'd like a little roll towards the centre of the house. That's pretty close to what they were looking for. Now Wales lead by one shot here. They have the last stone advantage. They're not really going to want to get that up for the sake of just one shot, so they're probably going to want to just tick this shot out and roll out themselves to blank the end, and so they do. So no score in N4, and Wales continue to lead by one. They'll maintain the last stone advantage for the fifth end. To Just coming up to halfway in end 5, and Wales have been putting up centre line guards, a tactic which almost backfired for them as Poland got quite a few stones in the middle of the house. They've been moved aside enough for Wales to move those red stones there. And that's a pretty fantastic draw from Poland there, through the port and just biting the button. Well, Wales once more looking to move some granite around here, and they're just playing a back ring weight, nothing very heavy. So a tricky path to get through to be able to hit any of the Polish stones, but Wales are going for it here. In the end, all they managed to do is clear that guard, but that's a useful thing to do in and of itself. Poland have just replaced that guard slightly closer to the house than the previous one. That's pretty close to what they were looking for. I just wanted to roll a little further. Going to be very difficult to get to that redstone there. So what can Adrian do here? Moves quite a lot of granite around, but it looks like that's still a Polish shot stone. Well, they probably didn't want to have to remove one of their own stones, but Poland will be glad to see one of the Welsh ones go there. Wales, of course, have the hammer, the last stone advantage in this end, so they should be able to keep putting stones in the house and asking Wales to remove, asking Poland to remove them, secure in the knowledge that if they have more than one stone in there, they should have a shot for two at the end. That one could have done with going about a foot or two further though. So Poland once more trying to remove some Welsh granite here. Well, that last shot from Poland may have removed 2 of the 3 Welsh stones that were in the house, but it doesn't really change the tactic from Wales here. Their priority is just to keep getting stones in there. This one looks to be slightly better hidden behind the guard. Not completely though, I suspect. Well, something of a surprise, a miss from the Polish skip there. That miss by Poland lets Wales right back into this end. So Wales going for a split there, trying to make it difficult for Poland to remove both those yellow stones at the same time. And of course, Poland only have 1 stone left in the end. So the last Polish stone in this end, they're just going for a takeout on the 1 yellow stone. Well, they wanted a roll, they wanted to try and get a bit further than that so the red wasn't exposed. It is possible for Wales to take both those reds in a single shot here. Whether they'll go for that or just settle for 1 takeout and take the tooth in this end remains to be seen. They've definitely got the 1. They move the second as well. And the Polish skip not happy with that. Well, unfortunate that with their previous shot, Wales managed to push a Polish stone into shot position. That gives Poland the opportunity to try and increase that advantage. Just removing the yellow from play, they probably would have liked to stay in the house. Now that red stone near the back of the house is quite well guarded, so James Power and Adrian Meikle, between them, deciding to try and clear those guards. Sweepers are obviously concerned that this is too light. It certainly looks slow as it crosses the hog line. Well, they were trying to sweep it so it would just outcount that yellow. Difficult to tell from this angle if they've done it, but it looks like they probably have. So Adrian Meikle with another takeout. His takeouts have been much better today so far than they were yesterday. That Yellowstone did just move. touched by the one that went out of play. No issue raised from Poland about that. Once again, the sweepers are quite concerned about the weight on this. Now, the main reason they were sweeping it to that distance is to reduce the risk of Adrian doing a double takeout. Now, it is still on, but it's very, very skinny. They probably lose the shooter. So with his final stone in this 7th end, Adrian once more going for a takeout. He'd love to be able to get both those two reds near the back of the house. But just the one. So Poland should have a pretty simple draw to score 2 here. Well, once more the sweepers slightly concerned about the weight. They don't look like they're going at it as hard as last time. They of course have more margin for error with this stone. Anywhere touching the white 8-foot circle would do, and that's almost a perfect button draw. So it is 2 to Poland, and now they trail by just 1 shot after 7 ends. Poland, of course, are looking to remove any Welsh stones from the house. But another miss on a takeout. That's a pretty good result. Very, very little chance of Poland getting a double takeout with those two. Well, Poland able to remove one but not both of those stones at the front, so Wales just looking to replace it here with this stone from James Power. Again, that's a pretty good result, those stones almost level in the house. Skip stone from Poland here, and it looks like it's in danger of coming up short of where they want. Now one more stone left to go each in this end. Adrian just looking to remove the red stone near the front of the house. Now those two stones on the far side, there might be an option for Poland to try a double takeout on that, but in the position they're in, that might not be enough. So the final stone from Poland in this end, one more to come from Wales, and really all the Poles are looking to do here is cut their losses. They know it's pretty much certain that Wales should score in this end. Well, there's a gap to get through and they're going for it. Must be quite tight with all the sweeping. this is Adrian Meikle's first skip stone of this end. Aiming to try and remove the red. They won't be sad to see that guard go, given it was only guarding a red stone, but they really wanted that shot stone to go too. Well, Poland wanted those toe stones parallel to reduce any chance of a double takeout. It has slipped a bit beyond the tee line. Literally anywhere in the house with this stone will give them 2 shots. So it is 2 to Poland, and the scores are now level at 7 shots all going into the 10th, and what should be the final end, in which Wales will have last stone advantage. Of course, those centre-line guards just make it difficult for Adrian and his team to bring a stone in towards the centre at the end, so they're trying to clear as many as possible. Throwing a peel weight takeout there, about as heavy as you can get. Well, Poland want guards, but this one the sweepers are really having to work at, concerned it might not even make it over the hog line. Looks like it probably will, but it's going to be very close. So once more, James Power just being asked to remove one of the guards here. Adrian no doubt would love it if they could get both. The main thing was to make sure that that yellow didn't block the same line. So we're on to skip stones now in this 10th end. Poland starting to run out of options. Looks like they're trying to draw one actually into the house this time. It's certainly going to make it into the house. But it's going to be significantly behind tee. So this time Adrian Meikle just looking to draw one in towards the tee line. They just want it on the same line as the red stone that just went down. Aiming to finish about where James has his broom, and that's a good result. Well, they've left it until what is likely to be their very last stone of the match, but Poland have called a timeout. They do still have plenty of time on the clock, but what this allows is a minute of time for them to discuss with their coach what shot they should play in this situation. That's timeout over, and the coach is ushered off the ice by the umpire. The players can continue to discuss, of course. They still have just over 5 minutes left on their thinking time clock, and if somehow this end is blanked and an extra end is required, they will get additional time. Well, no doubt they could have discussed it until the cows came home, but they have to play a shot eventually, more specifically in the next 3 minutes 50 seconds, and it looks like they've decided what it is. this the final stone from Poland in this 10th end. One more to come from Wales. Both teams needing just one shot from this end for the win. But Adrian and James took just... Well, Adrian and James took just a few seconds to decide on what shot to play here. It looks like they're going for a nose hit on that front red, and if the yellow stone sticks, it should be shot. So this is the final stone in end 10. It's close, it's very close. Well, that's certainly the end of the match. Someone has scored one, and I think it's Wales. And confirmed, it is one shot to Wales, so they have victory over Poland, 8 shots to 7. They keep their hopes of a place in the playoffs alive. To actually make it there, they'll have to come through a match against Austria in this afternoon's session with a win. So here we go, the first end in this final round-robin session for the men of the B division, and to go through what we know. Wales currently sit on 4 wins and 2 losses, which is the same as their opponents in this match, Austria. Now, in order for Wales to get a tiebreaker against Hungary, not only do Wales need to beat Austria in this match, they also need Poland, who are playing on the next sheet over, the one immediately behind this one from our perspective. Wales need Poland to beat Belgium, and for them themselves to beat Austria in order to set up that tiebreaker. So that's the most likely scenario. There are others that could mean Wales going through, possibly even without having to play a tiebreaker. But what we're looking for here is a win from Wales, and if that comes, then the results in the match on the next sheet over between Poland and Belgium will start to matter. It's a fairly standard start for Wales, who don't have the hammer in this first end. So a little bit about the Austrian team. Skipped by Sebastian Wunderer. This is a team that won the European Junior Challenge in order to go to the World Junior competition. Didn't do amazingly at the Worlds, but still quite an achievement to get there. During the course of this round robin, the Austrians have been beaten by Hungary and by Finland. So those are the 2 losses that they have against them. Obviously, wins against the other teams in that group, Poland, Belgium, Spain and Romania. Obviously, the last one they have to play is against Wales. They really want this to get round the guard here. It's not quite made it to the house, which is unfortunate. So we're past the 3 guard zone rule. Austria can start removing those guards from play. To note while we're near the start of the game is there's a change of lineup for Wales. Adrian Meikle unable to play this last round robin match, so we've got James Power in the head. And this is a stone from his brother Simon. Again, another takeout from the Austrians. And this time they get the shot stone as well. Not quite got it out of the house. Wells just trying to get another stone in behind that guard. That looks to have worked all right. So Wells continuing here with the basic tactic of putting a guard on the centre line. It's one that's worked for them well so far this end. That one seems to have swung a little bit further than they'd like. So the left-hander Matthias Genner with another takeout attempt here. We're still looking to try and get to that shot stone, not quite made it there. And now the first skip stone of this first end with James Power behind it. They're just attempting to put another stone at the front of the house, maybe just biting. The main thing here is to cover the line for the takeout. They might be looking at a freeze here instead, or possibly even splitting the house. It's quite heavy. It's the first real mistake from Wales so far. So a nice open stone for Sebastian Wunderer to have a takeout at. The sweepers are straight on it. They're concerned about the line on this. And it creeps past. So Wales not punished. So James Power adjusting his weight on the shot down, perhaps a little bit too far. The sweepers are having to give this a hand now. The most important thing is that it's blocking the line for the takeout. Well, just in the 12-foot circle, that's a great length, but it has crept over a bit too far, and Sebastian Wunderer has another chance at his takeout here. So the final stone of this first end is underway. It's certainly not a very heavy weight for a takeout. And it hits the one in front. Now this will definitely be an end to Wales. The only question is by how many? It looks like 3. So a fantastic start to this final round robin match for Wales as they have a steal of 3. And that's not a bad result. So Wunderer with his first skip stone of the second end. And James Power going for a takeout, probably a double takeout here if it works fine. Well, they get the one, and they don't move the second. but the shot stone is going to be difficult, if not impossible, to remove. So that should restrict Austria to scoring just one in this end. So Wanderer this time with a draw, and attempts to get at least one from this second end. Sweepers seem concerned it might be a little light. It's possible that if this gets in a shot position, Austria might take two. The yellow and the red stone on the far side of their house are certainly very close in terms of which is closest to the centre of the house. Wanderer's second stone does make it to shot position. So Sebastian Wanderer's first skip stone in this third end. Again, he toyed with the idea of a heavier weight. In fact, until he got down in the hack, he was going to throw a takeout and then changed his mind, perhaps after discussing with the sweepers, to do a guard instead. I'm not sure he wanted it quite that far from the house though. Sir James Power with his first skipstone in this third end. Wales have the hammer, of course, so he'll have another one after Austria's last stone. So the final stone from Austria in this end now underway. Wasn't quite what they were looking for. There's still confusion over who lies shot. So end four, and with the scores level, Wales do not want Austria to have guards out the front, especially when Austria currently sit two. Well, that's a pretty good draw there. They'd have loved it to be a little bit closer to the button, but the main thing there was the line, and they did not want it too close to the other yellow stone, so Wales could remove both of them in one fell swoop. But not that long ago, Wales were heard to say that they would like a bit of practice at removing guards. Well, that's exactly what they're getting in this end. Well, it's a bit of a tricky situation for Austria here. They've decided to use their timeout to have a bit more time to discuss it between themselves and with their coach. Let's see what it produces. So James Power with his first stone in this fourth end. Wales have the last stone advantage, of course. So the shot for Austria seemingly simple. but he did miss one of these in the first end. No such problem this time. Now there is a line available that would allow Wales to remove both yellow stones from their current positions in the house. And the problem is it's such a thin angle that the likelihood is that the front of the two yellows, the one that stone's about to pass, likely would not move out of a shot position and certainly would not allow the second red stone to count. So they just elect to do the simple takeout for one, and Wales are back in the lead just by a single shot. It's 4-3 after the fourth end. Well, Austria looking to remove the Welsh stone, get their angles badly wrong, and instead their own shot stone goes. This time Wunderer deciding to go for the draw, aiming to get in between those two red stones, touching the 4-foot circle. This looks to be really too light to do the job. So a big mistake from the Austrian skip there. Wales lie to, Austria with the hammer. The question now is, can Sebastian Wunderer make that draw? He obviously thinks he can get to the line, but then he doesn't really have a second option. Also, looking purely at the 4-foot circle, Wales do have two stones there, but there's another one on the far side of the house which also appears to be counting. So if this stone does not make it into a shot position, that one might be worth considering too. But in the end, the draw is good from Wunderer, and it is 1-2 Austria, but put under pressure there by Wales. So, as we go into the half-time break, it's all level here in the match between Austria and Wales. 4 shots apiece. So, Austria lie at least 2, possibly 3. Difficult to tell from this angle. There is the red stone biting at the back. But the only thing that Wales can do in this situation is try to out-count all of them. So this is the final stone in end 6. Definitely needed a bit of help to get it there. James Power's first skip stone in this 7th end, looking to freeze up against the existing yellow stone in the centre of the house. This looks like it's going a little bit quicker than a freeze. Now the first skip stone from Sebastian Wunderer in end 7. That's close to what Wales were trying to do with their last stone. So the last Welsh stone in this 7th end, looking to try and hit both those yellows in the front of the 4-foot circle. An unfortunate miss from James Power. So Austria seems certain to score at least 3 in this end. Sebastian Wunderer looking to try and make it 4. The stone needing quite a lot of help from the sweepers. But that is in a shot position, so that will be 4 to Austria, and that's something that Wales really could have done without. Well, Austria here trying to put another stone in the front of the 8-foot circle of the house, which will not only increase their potential score, but make it more difficult for Wales to draw the button. So James deciding that the standard draw isn't really an option. Looks like they're going for a bit of a hit here. Not a very heavy weight, just trying to keep some control on the line. And that looks like that's enough, only for 3rd shot. That looks like 2 to Austria. The deficit still stands at 5 shots, and there's nothing in the house at the minute, but Wales will want to play on if they think they have the slightest chance, because the news from the sheet next door, over on sheet G, is that Poland have beaten Belgium by 11 shots to 5. Now that would mean if Wales are able to turn this match around and take a win, then they would be in a tiebreaker with Hungary. So Wales just looking to get this in a scoring position. There's no guards to hide behind at all. The one thing they have going for them is that that stone is quite wide, and the wider the stone is, the more difficult it is to hit accurately. So there's the last stone from Austria in this end, and Sebastian Wunderer makes it count. One more stone to come from Wales. Now 5 shots is a lot to try and make in a single end, but then again so is 4 shots against the hammer. It's entirely down to James Power and his team whether they take the 1 or try to roll out to blank the end. So it is 1 to Wales. And they don't fancy trying to steal 4. So that's it. Wales have played their final match in this year's European Championships. They gave it a good go, and they've equalled their win-loss record from 12 months ago. But in the end, Austria just came off the better. A couple of crucial ends made all the difference, so there'll be no tiebreaker spot for James Power and his team. But no doubt they'll be back to try again in 12 months' time.